It looks something like this.
Hello gorgeous, welcome back to my channel. It is time for fall. It's time for leaves changing and pumpkin spice lattes, which I don't even like, but it's time for those, for big oversized sweaters and blanket scarves and knee-high boots and skinny jeans and all that good stuff, and also darker makeup. So I wanted to create a look that was, you know, kind of fall inspired and just pretty and all those good things with a darker lip, because I've kind of been steering away from them all summer. So it's time to get into a little bit of more fun makeup, especially with Halloween around the corner. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, then keep watching. All right guys, we are gonna jump in and start on the face. So I'm gonna clip my hair out of my face. Okay, so lately, no surprise, using the Laura Mercier primer. I'm like basically out of it. I've been doing the hydrating one and I apply it to my cheeks. When I apply my serum and then my primer, I feel like that's enough. I don't really want a whole extra layer of foundation in there. Okay, so I patted that in really good. So I like to use the Tatcha primer. You guys are familiar with this from my video that I did that's a full face of first impressions. The way that they recommend doing this is just getting a rice size and then piece of primer and then using it. I just like to get a little bit on my finger and warm it up and then tap it into wherever I have larger pores. And so for me, that's around my nose. And then I got a uh-oh right here. It's a long story, I don't want to talk about it. And then in my chin, and then wherever I have some, just a little bit of issues right there. I got this extracted during a facial the other day. So there's nothing in it, it's just a scab. So I just tap that in and then in between my brows, because it's another area that's just not my friend. So for under my eyes, I like to use this Becca primer. It's the anti-fatigue under eye primer. Get a little bit on my ring finger and then just tap that in under my eyes. And I like to start on the outside of my eye and work my way in. Go in the reverse direction of eye creases, because you know when you smile, I don't want this to sit inside of those creases when I smile. So for my face, I have a little bit of areas that have some redness, so I'm gonna neutralize those. This just came in the mail, I'm really excited to try it. It's the Dermablend Quick Fix Color Correcting Power Pigment. So, did I say power? I meant powder. So you open it and you just shake a little bit on the back of your hand. It says, and then it says, blend to activate into a cream. Oh my gosh, it turns immediately into a cream. That is nuts. Okay. So I'm blending it on the back of my hand with a concealer brush, and I'm just gonna apply it right where I see some red. I'm doing this before I apply my foundation because I wanna really cancel out that redness, and sometimes foundation just doesn't do a great job of that, no matter how good of coverage you have. By the way, these come in several different colors. They come in green, orange, yellow, and red. So orange neutralizes blue tone, dark circles, yellow neutralizes gray dullness and purple veins. Red neutralizes dark circles and spots on deeper skin tones. Very cool. For foundation, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Magic Foundation. If you guys get this foundation forever, I couldn't get the lid off. I just did right then, but I was trying to take it off like this, and I'm like, that can't be right. It's not right. So just so you know, that does come off. So, just a little, the more you know. Okay. It's a little bit lighter than I'd like for it to be. So again, I'm using the Dermablend. This is the orange one. And like I just showed you, you put it on the back of your hand and you mix it around and it activates immediately into a cream, which is so cool. So applying it directly to where my dark circles are. I typically go for a peach. This is a little bit darker than what I would typically go for. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. This is definitely a first impression with y'all because I haven't used this before. Why is it that we feel like we need to open our mouths when we do certain things like apply mascara? Like, does that really improve the application? No, it doesn't. There, I just did it again. Reminds me a little bit of the time that I applied red lipstick under my eyes. So I feel like that did a pretty good job of canceling. It's exciting. Okay, I'm using for concealer Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Liquid Concealer. It's got a teardrop shape there, which is kind of nice for getting in there and doing that. like in the corners. Reminds me of the Magic Eraser. Wait, is that the name of it? The concealer? The oh so popular Instant Rewind. Instant Rewind. For the under eyes, I'm setting with Magic Powder. This is also Charlotte Tilbury. Using a damp beauty blender and just gonna go from the outside in. I'm gonna let that bake for a minute while I do the rest of my face. For the rest of my face, I'm going to use my IT Cosmetics. It's All Over CC Cream. This is the Bye Bye Redness, just because I have a little bit of red in some places. And then for my T-zone, I'm just gonna set it with the Airbrush Flawless Finish. This is the Skin Perfecting Micro Powder from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is like one of my favorite powder brushes. This is a Sephora brand brush. It's the Pro Airbrush, and I just think it's just really, really nice. I'm just going to set my T-zone. This pressed powder acts more as a setting powder for me. The IT Cosmetics obviously has some pigment to it, which I like because it put a little bit of color back into my face, because right now I'm just so pale. Which, honestly, I should be pale all the time because I don't need to be in the sun, unless I'm getting a tan. I'm just gonna take this and clean off the under eyes. Sometimes I like to let my under eyes bake longer than others, but for the most part, I don't really let them bake for very long. I'm gonna go ahead and bronze it up a tiny bit. I've already hit pan. I'm so sad, I love this bronzer so much. This brush is fantastic, but it is very big, so if you're trying to be selective about where you put your foundation or bronzer, I would suggest a more precise one, but this is great for all over bronze. But if I want to really get into my cheekbones, I want to use like more like a fan brush to get in there. For blush, I'm using Laura Mercier's blush. This is in Peach, and just going right onto the apples of my cheeks. For highlighter, you guys will recognize this palette from my Nordstrom beauty haul. It's another Charlotte Tilbury. Man, this is like a Charlotte Tilbury makeup look. It's crazy. This is the Glow, and I love these. They're just so pretty. Ooh. Okay, just gonna prime my lid really quickly here. I'm using the Marc Jacobs Coconut Eye Primer. So I'm using the new Urban Decay Elements palette. Very excited about this. It's not been touched. It's brand new. Going in with this shade right here, which is Antidote. It's just a nice nude shade, and I'm gonna pack that on my lids to make sure that everything stays put. It's got a little bit of a peach to it, which is actually really nice for what I want to do. So I'm not gonna take it all the way up to the brow bone because it is a little bit peachier than I thought. Using the Jouer, this is the Rose Gold palette, and I'm going with that shade right there, which is Lace. And pack that on my brow bone. Yep, perfect. Flip over my brush and just lightly blend the two together. I'm not super worried about the way that it looks, as you can tell, because it's just literally for base purposes only. So for the crease, I'm using, if you guys watched my Insta Live back a little while ago, I opened a PR package from NARS, and they sent a ton of eyeshadows, and this is one of them, and I think this is so beautiful. It's Nume, I think is how you pronounce it. It's like this like really pretty like rust color. I love rust all year long, but especially for fall. I'm gonna go in with a fluffy shader or fluffy blending brush. I'm gonna work that into my crease. So I really like that shade. I think it's great. I think the Elemental in this palette would do about the same thing. I'm gonna just put a little bit in the crease and see. Yeah, it's basically the same shade. I'm gonna just darken up the crease a little bit using that Elemental. These shades are so pretty. If you have green eyes, I mean, nothing makes green eyes pop more than orangey reds on the eyes. I mean, it's just, I love it. That's why you always see me in like orangey red shades. I just think that they're so beautiful. Okay, so for the lid, what do we do? I'm so excited. So many options here. I think I'm gonna go in with that Rose Gold shade right there from the Rose Gold palette. It is called Rose Gold. From Jouer. I think I'm gonna pack that in. I think I'm gonna do Rose Gold, and then light in the center. Let's try that and see how that looks. I need a thinner. Let's do this. Do a Zoeva 234 smoky shader. So here's the thing. I love it, but I kind of want a little bit more oomph, so I might darken it a little bit on the outside corner, but I'm gonna still take it on the inside. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Glad I kept my airbrush around to get that fall out from underneath the eye. Okay, in the center of the lid, I'm gonna go in with the shade right here, which is Extravaganza. This is in the ColourPop Fame palette. I love this palette. It's a little bit of a creamier one, so I'm gonna use my finger for this because it's like got like I said, a cream base. And see like how pigmented it is? It's so pretty, oh my gosh. Pop that right in the center of the lid. When you're applying shadows with your finger, pat it on, don't rub it on because you're gonna lose a lot of the color by doing it that way. So you gotta tap it on. Okay, so what I'm gonna do then is go in with the Volcanic. That's from the Urban Decay palette right there. And I'm gonna pack that on the outside corner of the eye just to deepen that corner a little bit. And then I'm gonna take the Volcanic and go right underneath the lashes right there. And then I'm gonna take the Rose Gold from the Jouer palette and take that along the rest of the lash line. They really do blend together, those two shades. They're so pretty. And then I'm gonna take, let's see, what is this brush? This is the It Cosmetics Superhero. I'm gonna smoke out that lash line below. But I'm gonna work in a little bit of this Moon Rock from the Urban Decay palette because it's a little bit darker. For lashes, I'm using my favorite lashes, Salon Perfect. These are the 615s. I love these lashes. Every time I wear them, it never fails. I get DMs, what lashes are you wearing? And I try to let you guys know when they're in stock because they sell out so fast. I have a whole video on my channel about false lashes, about the different ways to apply them and everything like that. So I'm not gonna do this for you on this video. So if you guys wanna see that, go watch that video. These lashes are so gorgeous that you really don't even need a liner, but I'm gonna put one on anyways. This is the CoverGirl Gel Liner in Give Me Noir, and I'm going to tight line by just taking my finger and lifting up and going right there. And then I'm gonna apply a little bit on the top of my lid as well. I'm gonna use a little bit of a, this is the brush that came with it, which is great for tight lining because it's like, it gets right in there. But I don't like the shape of it for an actual liner. So I'm gonna use the Sigma, this is the Line Perfector. It's the E68. And just go right along the lash line on the top. The reason I like gel liner is because it dries nicer, it's easy to apply than liquid liner in my opinion. And I like to just put it right on top of the lash line so that you can't see where the glue is. Because even when you use clear glue, it still dries a little bit wonky. And I'm gonna flick this out for a tiny bit of a cat eye. So for lips, I'm lining with Jouer's lip liner, and this is in Pink Champagne. And then for lips, I'm using NARS. This is the lip color, it's liquid lip color cover, and it's in Hell's Gate. And I just wanted to do a bold lip with this look, and I think this is gonna be really pretty. Oh man, that's bold. It's darker than I thought it was gonna be. So when I picked this, I thought it was more rose than it is red, but now that I've got it up, it definitely is a red. So I'm gonna alter it a tiny bit with some shades to get more of that rose that I want. So I'm gonna top it with, let's see, Jouer's Rose Gold. That's what I'm gonna top it with. Jouer's Rose Gold. And that way I'm gonna get the shade that I really want. And this is actually a lip cream. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, it smells so good. And I just decided to top it with, Jouer's lip gloss. It's rose gold also, it's a high pigment, and I just think that it made it so pretty. Oh my gosh, like it's just like so like chromatic, and it like plays really nicely with the eyes. Big fan. So overall, I just think this is a really pretty look. I think that with the bold lip and the eyes aren't too crazy bold, but they're still nice. Like you could easily get away with this and a nude lip and just look totally balanced, but I feel like it's just fun to throw in a dark lip for fall because of the cooler temperatures and all that. And I love the shimmery lip. I think it's just so pretty. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Leave a comment below if you want to see another makeup tutorial next. Let me know. And don't forget to visit me on my blog, angelalanter.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I love you all so much. Au revoir.